Good evening, DES race fans. It is the opening night of the season for Premier Trucks. These guys are the best of the best in DES. We've got some new members in the Premier Series. I'm Jonathan Medlin, joined in the booth tonight by Jeff Dinda and Brandon Moran. It's going to be a great night of racing. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm looking so forward to this. These guys are getting to race Daytona. We've got a bigger field this year, as you mentioned. We also have Jackson Bison in the race tonight. We have a contender series that runs before this. We're contending to compete with these guys, and Jackson, normally the number 33, is going to be the 103, and I'm not going to give it away where he's starting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just so excited. I just wanted to say thank you guys for having me here. And I mean, Daytona of all tracks, it's always so unpredictable, and surviving this opener, can be just as important as winning it. And I'm so excited to see who's going to finish on top tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting out in the first row in the pole position, we've got Jackson Bies, who is that golden ticket winner as aforementioned, and then Dylan Grutzmacher to his outside to round out row one. Brandon Hinton is going to be starting in third with Mark Holloway in fourth. Jonathan Green, aka Fago, in the 517 machine starting in fifth. Max Dinda to his outside in sixth. Jason Phillips is going to be starting in seventh. Hunter Davis in eighth. Running out the top 10, Todd Perrant in the 69 machine and Tom Ringer in the 68 machine.
All right, take it away in row 6. We have Brian Sousa and Tyler Waltz. John Crosby and Thomas Long in row 7. Jonathan Geist and Christian Clark in row 8. Edwin Warren in the 11 car and Ben Kuhn in row 9. Judson Curtis and Jamie Howell in row 10. And Tanner Honeycutt rounds out those who qualified. Just so everybody knows, qualifying is mandatory, so that should be everybody in our field.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't qualify in DES, then it's an EOL at the next race. But like you say, it looks like everybody in this Premier group qualified. And I'm going to just throw this out there. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of Jackson Bice in the Premier Series this year off of golden tickets.
Sorry, Jonathan. I have a stream going as well. These guys are a little loud on my track mic, so I'm going to turn them down a little bit.
Yeah, just listening to the drivers, they're communicating with each other. They seem as excited as we are. I mean, the opening race here at Daytona, and it's exciting to see the lineup, because I do know that the drafting tracks like this, like especially Daytona, anybody in this field has a shot at the win as long as they can survive the chaos. Being a good driver is just as important, but also surviving Daytona long enough so that you can finish in a position is also just as important here. And, hopefully we don't see any big incidents tonight, but I'm looking forward to seeing who is going to finish at the end here in Daytona.
You mentioned the fact of surviving Daytona. I'm going to say this. These guys, there's a reason that these are the premier guys of DES. They are clean racers. It is a larger field, so there is a possibility of seeing a wreck, but most of the time these guys are green flag to green flag from start to finish. That said, the draft is a big key here. Staying clean, staying in good air, not getting too far away from the draft is a big key. But one of the things that I found difficult in the Contender Series race tonight was, if you don't get a good restart, you can lose that draft real fast. That said, we are about to be going green as we are coming around into the restart zone. And it looks like Buys is going to get a great jump on that bottom line. We did have a few people. I saw Todd Price, number 69 machine, coming off the from the pits there. Jackson Buys currently in first, Brandon Hinton in second as he has moved up. Dylan Grutzmacher making his way around Brandon Hinton into second, putting Hinton in third, Mark Holloway in fourth, and Fago, Jonathan Green in fifth. Brandon Hinton now dropping down to fourth behind Mark Holloway.
As they're rolling off, it's a very strong open. It's very clean. I mean, the spacing here is very impressive. It's not easy to remain this clean, especially on the first couple of laps, and I think they're doing a tremendous job. And you'll notice here the momentum is everything. One small lift and you can lose 5 spots instantly, and they're doing a great job maintaining the pack, maintaining the momentum, and watching their spacing as we enter into lap 3 of this race.
Absolutely, and you don't see a lot of checkups like what we saw in the Contender Series race. That was another thing. You had people checking up and not being able to get up underneath and tuck in. Something that I definitely got to work on myself is being able to tuck into the back bumper of the truck in front of you and push them and help them in the draft. Jackson Buys, that said, going to jump to the top line in front of Grutzmacher, leaving Brandon Hinton on the bottom line. Brandon Hinton is one of the veterans in this league, and he can get things done pretty much on any line he runs. He is a fantastic driver, and as long as he's in the front, he's a threat. Jeff, who do you think? I'm going to go ahead and, even though we've got quite a few laps to go, I'm going to ask you, who do you think is going to take this down tonight?
I need to jump in here, but I just want to say, you don't want to necessarily lead too early here at Daytona. I know, Hinton's in a good position right now, obviously. I mean, you say he's the strongest contender, I will take your word for it, but we have seen before, you don't want to lead too early at Daytona. Being out in front can kind of make you the target, and you don't want to make those aggressive moves too early. This early in the race, I feel like the drivers are just trying to focus on whether to ride safely in line or start making those aggressive moves early, and we haven't seen much aggression here, so it seems like these drivers tonight are in it for the long haul here at Daytona.
And we've got a wreck on the track. Caution is out. And that's going to put Dylan Grutzmacher in the lead with Jackson Buys in second when we come back around for the restart. We're going to take a break here for just a moment and figure out where that wreck was and come back and give you the details.
Definitely a big incident there. It looked like a rear of the pack. Somewhere. All right, and so we're back recovering after that big incident here at the rear of the track. Just a slight graze, that 23 car, he was coming low, other guy was coming high. Just a little bit of a collision there. Happened at the back of the pack, so, luckily a lot of the cars are still okay. And we're going to be coming back. We're going to get ready to do some racing here once this pace car comes off. And I mean, at Daytona, you're not... If you're not rubbing, you're not racing. That's what they always say. And some of the other cars now getting caught back up, returning to their positions. And we're going to get ready to get some racing going here. I am really looking forward to seeing where these drivers place.
Yeah, absolutely. And the top 10 or 11 or so were in front of that accident, so they definitely cleared it without any incident. A couple of guys in the back cleared it, but there was a whole lot of cars involved. Just to point out, we get no fast repairs here, so these guys they're the pros of DES, so they get no fast repairs. So if you can't get it repaired, you're kind of stuck in a race. We are going to have a caution at lap 15 for stage break and at lap 35, just letting everybody know. Take it away, Brandon.
Yeah, here we are. Pace car's still coming around. I believe this will be the call for returning race. We got the green flag there. So as soon as the pace car turns off, we're going to be back to the racing action here at Daytona. Pace car is off. And it's going to be a strong open here.
Yeah, let's make sure you're watching Damon's feed on this point, not YouTube. Pro advice for you at this moment. We're a little bit ahead of you.
I did have that pulled up. I'm so sorry, Jeff. You know what? You were completely right. We're actually back underway. I was a little delayed there. Excuse me. But, it looks like Gutzmeyer just fell back 1, 2, 3 positions now. I'm sure he won't return to his spot. They are drafting. Looks like he's pushing his teammate there. That 77 car is getting pushed. And that's the thing. Here at Daytona, it's all about drafting. If this guy can keep the air in front of him broken up enough, he can... move up a few positions. Just because you're in the back of the pack does not mean you're going to finish at the top here in Daytona.
Yeah, good call. And, before we had an incident, we were talking about favorites. I was going to say Jackson Bice, he just won that last race in these identical trucks. So, he's a plate racer. Those of us who know him know that very well. And I'm going to give a shout out. His teammate behind him, who's also my son, those two race together a lot. So they are definitely a tandem, a duo to watch in this race. But, not going to give all the credit to those two. We've got a lot of good play racing in this race. So it's going to be a tough battle to see if one of those two teammates can finish out front. And just going to give another comment. I love all the comments. We've got 15, 16 people watching on YouTube. We've already had somebody shout out to Jackson, shout out the Ratfink racers, a couple of Ratfink guys in this league. If you got a favorite driver and you're watching, let us know who it is, and we will talk about them in the broadcast.
That's great. A lot of support, that's one of the beautiful things about this. A lot of support from family members, friends, these guys work hard at this, it is full-on racing. These guys aren't playing a game. These guys are racing right now. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, and they have been training a long time for tonight. And Jeff, I mean, what kind of stress and pressure goes into this, from training to actually doing it? And do you get the adrenaline rush?
Oh yes, I was just going to tell you before you said that, I'm still sweating from the previous race. I got the fan on, I'm trying to cool down because it's intense. You're racing up front, right? It's crazy. I mean, your adrenaline's going. I am relatively new to this. My legs would shake at times. I mean, some of these guys are a little calmer than others, but I get all wound up.
And looks like some of these cars are. This is big car in the back. Number 5, Brandon Hinton there. Not really having the draft he would like to catch up there, but he's keeping that outside lane there at the rear of the pack. Jeff, when you're at the rear of the pack like that, you don't have anybody in front of you, and you're trying to catch up. Are you at a disadvantage? Is it better to be right behind the guys, or does that extra spacing kind of help you in the long run of avoiding collisions?
Yeah, so it depends on the cars and it depends on the track. If you're a half a second, 6/10 behind the guy, which is a lot when you see how fast we're going, you can maintain that draft and catch them, and sometimes you can catch them with a pretty good run. Right? If you're 5/10 behind, you're catching them. Banging the wall there. You will definitely catch up, but if you fall a second behind, 2 seconds behind, you're going to drop a couple seconds per lap, and you're just going to find yourself lapped. And unfortunately, or fortunately for these guys, now that you're staying, you will definitely.
Absolutely, and I mean,
yeah.
just at the front of the pack here, these drivers are so close together. You know, from what I understand, you know, you'll notice these guys, they can't really break away here. You know, the draft is just pulling these trucks back together, and momentum is just everything here at Daytona. We've been saying it since the beginning of the race, and you know, they're really just trying to keep that momentum and stay within that the draft of their front driver. So what considerations does it take if you're leading this draft right here, like Liza is here in the 1 car? What disadvantage are you at leading the draft here? Do you want to be leading the draft that long, or is it easier to, you know, would it be more strategic to pull back, allow the guy in front of you to draft, and then try and sneak your way back up to that one spot?
You know, if it's late in the race and you got fuel issues, like at this last stage we run, they will have to pit, so there may be some strategy as being the second or third place guy versus the first place guy, but right now, no. Jackson's going to get maximum stage points. Obviously, he's not a premier. We got questions about that in YouTube. I'm going to answer that. But stage points right now is what he wants. The 48, the 11 car, the other guys behind him, they're trying to get maximum stage points right now. So you want to be up front at this point. If you're playing a safe game, maybe, you know, in the race to avoid, oh, we got an incident right now. We just got 2 turn. Caution is out. And we will probably go to a quick break. We'll get that spooled up to see everybody involved, and we'll come back from the quick break and show you guys a replay.
And we are back with you, about to go green here at Daytona, coming through turn 3 and 4 towards the restart zone. We should see the pace car dipping off here in just a moment. Max Dinda is in P1, so he'll be on the inside line and the control car for this restart.
Yeah, it was a big incident there on that last one. Hopefully these guys get a good start. It looks like the green is off.
Max Dinda on that inside line with a great restart. Jackson Bye's gonna, it looked like he was gonna dip low behind Max, but Max gonna jump up on the high line. High line getting a good push right now in a 1-2-3 with Max Dinda, Jackson Bye's, and then Ben Kuhn in the 40 machine. And then right behind that, Dylan Grutzmacher now trying to push around and get in front of the 11 of Edwin Warren, who is currently in 4th. Now Ben Kuhn going to drop to the inside line and try to make a run, but he has no help, and the 101 and the 48 are going to continue to just dip on out. 101 of Jackson Bye is going to dip to the inside, get around Max Dinda. Now Ben Kuhn's got a little help from fellow TRN teammate Edwin Warren, and let's see if they can push that bottom line up a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like that inside line has really lost a lot of its momentum. It's that outside line. Those guys are drafting each other, and you know what we've seen here at Daytona is if that outside line can keep its momentum, it can start moving like a freight train. These guys are in each other's business right now. All three of them stacked up, 4 or 5 of them basically rubbing bumpers right there. And we're watching that outside line. It is moving much faster than that inside line. Looks like Bice is the leader of that, and he's just really looking at it's moving like a freight train. I mean, look at how much time they are gaining just by being on that outside.
Absolutely, you know, they are tucked up in there and pushing it on down the line. And right now you've got Jackson Bice, Max Dinda, Dylan Grutzmacher, Brandon Hinton, all in that line, and then there's a couple behind Brandon there, but I think but they are just absolutely pushing. I see 45 on Tyler Walks, also the 99 with Christian Clark, and they're just moving it on down the line there. They have definitely got the momentum, but the bottom line starting to get a run going here.
Absolutely. I mean, you can feel the intensity building in this battle. That 40 car is hungry to gain some momentum on that inside line. And you know, the track position matters, but timing the run matters even more. So maybe there is a strategy here that I'm not quite seeing.
I think the strategy right now for these guys is just to, you know, stay clean and you know, keep your momentum going with the draft and not lose the draft. The problem is you've got guys that are kind of sliding, like you see Todd Perron on that bottom line, the third one in, and the 69 machine kind of sliding up a little bit. And when that happens, it breaks the draft for that bottom line, and they lose the momentum that they gain, and it just kind of starts to hurt that bottom line. So if they can all get grouped up like these top 4 or 5 in the upper line, then they can get that bottom line moving and get some momentum going themselves.
You know, unlike most tracks, horsepower does matter a lot less here. Aerodynamics and positioning are everything here. And it looks like the inside line is gaining a little bit more momentum. Jay Bice, he's been leading this race for the last couple of laps here. He does not want to budge. Big incident here. Big incident. Lots of cars involved, almost half the pack involved, and we're going to be going into a caution here to check out this replay.
Wow, that was just mass carnage from the front of the pack.
Absolutely. Looking at this replay, let's see. It started in this outside line.
.40 car up front. .40 car up front.
Yeah, it looks like Ben Kuhn got down below the apron there and possibly just shot him up. And when that, when you have that happen on a track like this, it can really just mess everybody up because you're packed in there tight together. Yeah, he comes down below the apron, gets into Bison, maxed into, and it just ripple effects behind that. And most everybody was involved. I mean, there was a couple that we heard calling out for some clearings for wreck avoidance. So not everybody got caught up in it, but quite a few got caught up in that.
It looks like, yeah. I mean, this just goes to show the precision it requires these drivers to have here at Daytona. I mean, he made one little zig when he should have zagged, and now it's a multi-car incident here. You know, for going 23 laps and this being the first incident, I mean, that just shows the skill of these drivers. And his wheel dips down there into the apron, and he comes up high, and that's when he's going to collide with that 11 car.
So while we're getting the rest of this sorted out through this caution, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. And we are back about to go green. Brandon Hinton, the control car on the bottom line. He is across the line, and he is going to have a good jump. Hunter Davis right onto his tail. Mark Holloway in the top lane. In third place, John Green, a.k.a. Fago, and then Jackson Buys in fifth, able to make it all the way back up there after sorting out some of that damage. And then Max Dinda is going to be right behind him. Jason Phillips, though, in sixth place. Ben Kuhn now making a move, getting up into eighth place behind Max Dinda. Christian Clark behind that, and then TJ Honeycutt in 10th to round out the top 10. That was a great restart by Hunter Davis and Brandon Hinton, though. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about Brandon Hinton, and also Hunter Davis is a veteran member in the Premier League. These guys know how to get this done. Mark Holloway now dropped back into the bottom line behind Hunter Davis. Also, we see Jason Phillips down there as Buys and Max Dinda getting up in that top line, trying to get some momentum going and get this top line working to get themselves back up in that 1-2 position. But Brandon Hinton and Hunter Davis is going to have the help down on the bottom line as they have got the bigger pack right now.
Yeah, no, what's interesting, what I'm noticing, as we're entering near half this race, the bottom line right now is looking very organized. And you're seeing these drivers start to experiment with different lanes as this race enters this halfway period. And nobody wants to show their hand too early. So it is interesting seeing, before the caution, we had the high lane was moving like a freight train, and now this lower lane seems to be the primary choice for these drivers. So we're seeing these strategies unfold here under the lights of beautiful Daytona.
And I think the reason that right now the bottom line is going to be the preferred choice is you've got two guys that are no strangers to running in the front of the pack, and you got everybody following in behind them trying to tuck it in and race behind these two guys. But Buys and Max Dinda cannot be counted out. They're both really good drivers. Max, of course, a veteran. This is his second season in the Premier League. And Jackson Buys is a newcomer to DES, but he is in the iRacing circuit, a known driver who is very respected in several leagues.
And what we're seeing now is, there's a handful of drivers that are now away from the main pack, trying their best to catch up. Looks like some bumpy air for that number 8 car as it went low into the apron there. And now the pack is broken up. Look at the momentum break there. So now we have almost 3 different packs operating, all trying to move up in the pole. What happens to those drivers who are in that third pack way back? What is the strategy to try and catch back up to become a contender?
The best thing that they can do is just work together, push the pack back up. Just like you see that right there with Christian Clark pushing Max Dinda, who gets back up on Jackson Buys. They're working together as a team, trying to push each other. And then, of course, you got that bottom line with Brandon Hinton and Hunter Davis, Christian Clark. And I'm not quite sure who that is behind Christian. That's going to be the number 8 of Jason Phillips. But now you see Jackson Buys and Max Dinda getting in front of Brandon Hinton, dipping back down to the bottom line, trying to push that bottom line. And now they've got everybody else pushing them as well. And Mark Holloway and the 56 machine also tucking in on that into that top pack. And then of course you got more behind that. Green, Ben Kuhn, Dylan Grutzmacher, Jamie Howell, Justin Curtis, Todd Perrott, Thomas Long, TJ Honeycutt are all back in that second pack, and they're going to have to work together to try to get back up with the first pack.
Yeah, and I'm just going to jump in here real quick. We did have a little bit of an incident when those guys got separated. Not sure if you guys caught it. Tanner Honeycutt got into the wall, so a lot of cars were kind of near that. We didn't have a caution. He didn't go off track, didn't stop, but he was driving slowly, so that kind of broke this pack up. But we're going to have a caution.
Yes, we will have our second stage break at lap 35. I would expect to see some of these guys come in, take fuel. Some of them are going to try to repair damage from that last wreck. Some of them are going to take tires, But I expect to see the majority of these guys come down pit road in the next 5 laps when we have that stage break.
Absolutely. Look at these guys. You know, they are so close to each other. You know, what are the speeds here? I mean, these guys are traveling what 190 miles per hour, just inches apart.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're sitting in the cab of that truck, when you're tucked up underneath there, you really you think you're in the bump. You think you're hitting the bumper of the truck, even though you're really not.
Got you. I mean, these guys really, you know, this front of the pack here, a lot of these drivers have maintained, you know, the top 8 positions here throughout most of the race. You know, Buys and Denda here have really just been stealing the show so far as staying in the pole positions. You know, are these very skilled drivers? You know, what kind of history do these drivers have with wins? You know, are they skilled, or are these guys really coming out and showing what their off-season practice has done for them?
Well, like I say, Jackson Buys is running multiple leagues, and he's very well respected in the leagues that he runs in. Outside of that, you know, Max Denda, Brandon Hinton, Hunter Davis, Mark Holloway, these guys are all guys that have been in the Premier League here in DES. Of course, Christian Clark and Jason Phillips are newcomers to the Premier League, but very well deserving of being in the Premier League. They're clean drivers. Most of the time, you know, in the Contender Series last year, or last season, I should say, these guys, you know, did not have many incident points, race clean, you know, constantly, you know, within the top 10, top 15 during the race. So, you know, they paved the way for themselves to get into this Premier. The Premier Series for DES is invitation only. These guys don't just come out and race Premier because they want to race Premier. They have to be invited.
Got you. You know, these drivers, you know, constantly managing the air around their trucks. And, you know, we have the high lane and the lower lane now forming. Tell me a little bit about the spotters. You know, how important is it to have a spotter, you know, to kind of inform you of the lane? You know, what kind of advantage does that give you as far as not getting into any major incidents?
So it does a lot of good. I mean, there is a built-in spotter in iRacing. There's also other means of having a spotter. So not everybody always has a physical person spotting them. But you know, we're doing a new thing in DES where the Premier drivers are taking Contender Series drivers under their wings, mentoring them and spotting for them on the Contender Series races. And I can tell you from experience, it makes a huge difference.
This will be the stage break coming up. Just giving everybody a heads up. This will be the stage break. Top 10 get points. That's all the way from Jackson Bice to Dylan Grutzbacher.
And this time across right here, we are entering our stage break, as Jeff just alluded to. So we are going to take a moment, let these guys sort out what they're going to do in the pits, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you in just a moment.
Welcome back, race fans. We have a special guest joining us in the booth, one of our regular announcers who is now racing in Premier. Unfortunately, he's out of the race, so we're going to bring in Mr. Edwin Warren of the 11 car, team captain of TRN, while these guys are coming into pit road. Edwin, unfortunately, you're out of the race. Congratulations for making Premier your first race. What happened, buddy?
Well, it's not the way I wanted to end in my first race in Premier, plus a track that I really enjoy and usually lead laps on no matter what I'm in. So me and my teammate, Ben Kuhn, were battling against Jackson Buys and Max Dinda. They had been very aggressive the entire time, whatever about that. But I was pushing him on exit of corner. We came out of the corner, hit the straight. We're still good. And then he got loose. He even told me after, he said, "Hey man, you didn't do anything wrong, I just got loose." And I pulled off from him, but I didn't want to dart all the way down pit road because, there's always an issue with that. And I got clipped by Todd Perrott, and rest is history. Knocked the rear diff out of the truck.
Unfortunately, it sounds like it wasn't repairable, so you're still going to get some points. I know it kind of stinks. Plate racing is always a battle. You do have some TRN roommates in here, so I fully expect you to join YouTube. We've got almost 20 watchers right now. We got guys cheering on earlier for Todd and Hunter Davis, 69 car, 88 car. A little bit later, we had some guys cheering on, Mark Holloway to the 56 car. So I know you're going to be rooting for the 88, you're going to be rooting for the 40, you're going to be rooting for your teammates. And unfortunately, like I said, congratulations for making it into Premier this season, but unfortunately on your first race.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching it on my couch. And, it sucks. I want to be out there racing with these guys, but it sucks. I'm gonna be rooting them on. Hunter Davis, he's a strong competitor. Ben Kuhn, he's a guy who knows how to appear when it needs to be. Jonathan Guy's strong, smart, methodical in everything he does. So, I'm going to be really watching each and every one of them. I mean, heck, Jonathan Green out there, he's a guy with us too. It's unfortunate Tanner's out as well. I'm out, but, it was fun. Next week is Phoenix, and I'm looking to have a way better showing. I got a hole to dig out of now.
All right. Well, again, thanks for joining us in the booth. Sorry for your night. We're going to go back to just a little bit of a quick commercial. These guys still got another lap to go, and then we're going to bring it back live to you guys.
And we are back, lap 37 of 80. It's going to be lap 38 when we start back. And we are coming through the final two turns before we hit the restart zone. So, Brandon, what do you think so far about how this race is going?
I think it's really interesting. Watching these different drivers play with different strategies has just been awesome. We never know what the strategy is going to be. And here on lap 37, we're almost halfway through this race. And this is where super speedway racing becomes a chess match. And there is the pace car is off. And we are green flag back underway. We got Bias leading the pack once again, a superstar of this race here in Daytona tonight. And this pack is just now getting organized. We're watching those lanes. And, sometimes the safest place on the track is near the front. And Daytona survived this half the battle. And we have seen Bias and Dinda and these other drivers, maintaining their place. And here we are, 3 wide now, 1 down into the apron. And they are forming their lines. He is falling back. It looks like Oh, he fell back many positions there. That 101 car, he just lost that spot. I mean, it is that quick. It can happen that fast here at Daytona. He came out a little wide. He lost his momentum, and now he has fallen back to the middle of the pack. We have Clark and Davis leading the pack. Phillips at the front. You know, what a change of pace here at Daytona. You know, it can happen that fast. It's so exciting. What happens, you know, why did he drop back so much? Was there a strategy coming into the apron that maybe didn't work out, Jonathan?
Well, if you look at who he's back in the pack with, he fell back with Max Dinda. He and Max Dinda have been working together all night. I think he dropped below the apron, slowed down, let the rest of the pack by, and got in there with Max, and got that pack reformed with Max. But that put it to where you got Jason Phillips, Christian Clark, Hunter Davis, Jonathan Green, Dylan Grutzmacher, and Mark Holloway all right there together.
Wow. Okay, so he fell back to support his teammate. That is what I call brotherhood right there. We're watching it unfold right here at Daytona. And Phillips now just leading the pack. We have the high lane and the low lane here. And they're experimenting with different lanes. Phillips not sure exactly where he wants to place himself yet. Everybody else is just following along, trying their best. We have a lot of momentum on that lower lane. The higher lane seems to be dropping back a little bit. But we're still watching drivers go in and out. We have, what is that, the 35 car? Is that Jake Curtis in the very back? He is, the pack is pulled away from him. It's going to take him, you know, a team driver or something to get him caught back up to this point. And we are still on that lower lane. That momentum is really just carrying through into lap 40 now. Halfway through this race at lap 40 here at Daytona under the lights. It is beautiful. This is racing right here.
A little insider information for our viewers today. So you guys were just talking about Jackson, Vice, Max Dinda. I went down to this basement to get a Diet Coke beverage, and while I did, Max is racing in the basement. They are communicating via Discord live with each other during a race. I think I actually heard him say, I'm going to drop back and pick you up during that, but we got teammates in here. So, you know, a couple other teammates, the 5 and the 69, right? We mentioned TRN Racing. We got a bunch of those guys in chat. 40 car, 32. There's a bunch of them in there. These guys are communicating with each other independent from the track mic, so they can make moves that other guys can't hear. And we're just giving you guys a little insider information right now on YouTube.
Max Dinda says, no man left behind here at Daytona. Falls back to save his teammate. That is beautiful. You love to see that kind of camaraderie happening. And those guys are skilled drivers. They are not scared to drop back a few places and say, hey, I'm going to pick up my teammate and we're going to get to the front.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw a couple of other shout-outs. Jason Phillips, last season, ran with us on Sundays Next Gen. Based on his driving style, he was given an entrance to this program, and he's racing in it, and he's racing it. He's up front. We have a lot of new guys this season. Jonathan Green, currently in 4th place. Christian Clark in 2nd place. Grutzmacher dominated the Truck Series last year. Unfortunately, had a couple of mishaps with his computer. Otherwise, he may have won a championship, or at least competed with Brandon Hitton's son Dylan for a championship. So these guys are all new in the series, and it's awesome watching these guys do that.
It is very much so awesome watching these guys. Like we've said most of the night, there's a reason that these guys are in Premier, and they're showing it tonight.
Entering into lap 43 now. That lower lane still has a lot of momentum. We only have 2 drivers in the upper lane there, forming their own pack, and they're just trucking along, man. Look at them go. 190 miles an hour plus these trucks are going here at Daytona tonight. And, you know, it is not easy to manage the trucks at these speeds. You know, what are some of the things you need to look out for as a driver when you're going this fast? How, you know, what is the major number one thing that can throw you off at those speeds?
Apron.
I was going to say the same thing, apron. You know, making sure that you don't cross below that double yellow line, holding the line that you're running, you know, as tight as possible. And, you know, when you get into a side draft, especially in these trucks, you can scrub a lot of speed. and it can slow you down. So you kind of want to hold that line as tight as you can. You kind of want to keep your right side of your truck right on that upper white dotted line if you're holding that top line. And if you're on the low line, you just want to kind of stay just above the double yellow line so that you're not putting yourself at risk of scrubbing the apron.
Outstanding.
Yeah, and a couple other things. I mean, obviously, it's hard side by side just with 2 lanes. Right? You get 3 lanes, you get in the middle. Guys on the outside are going to be close to scraping the wall. You're going to get it's a little dirty up there, so that causes issues. But yeah, I mean, it's for anybody who hasn't experienced this and you're listening and you got a family member who has a rig, jump on, run some practice laps, have fun with it, and just see how difficult it actually is by yourself.
We got one of our viewers that have said when we was talking about Jackson Buys dropping back to link back up with Max, like when Lightning McQueen went back for the king in the final lap of the Piston Cup.
Absolutely. We are watching Lightning McQueen levels of drama play out tonight at Daytona. It is wonderful to see. I mean, these are the things that make racing so exciting. We see that outside lane starting to fall back. I mean, that draft, it can turn a race leader into 10th place just in seconds. And this lower lane now is what's carrying the momentum. And those drivers, there's no space for them to sneak into that lower lane. They're kind of stuck on that outside. It's got to be nerve-wracking when a spot does open up, making that call. Do I go in and risk it, or do I stay here where I can keep building my momentum?
If I was in the top line right now, I would be watching for a space to open up. But these guys are so good at being able to tuck in that it hurts that upper lane because it blocks them from having anywhere to actually slide in on that lower line without having to drop all the way back to the back of the pack. But we do see a third driver now coming up and trying to work that top line as well. So maybe we'll see some momentum start to build on that upper line here.
It looks like it. Phillips is doing a tremendous job at the lead here. I mean, he is maintaining his speed. Clark right behind him. Davis just following Clark. And, these top 3 guys are doing a good job maintaining their spacing. And we're seeing that outside lane now. It is gaining a little bit of momentum. He's trying to get in under that draft pocket just enough to start pushing up. The real question is, is that driver in the outside lane, it's that blue car, is that Kuhn number 40 there? Is he going to try and push him up, try to get some more speed? He's almost pushed him to 2nd place. I mean, look at that. This draft is so important, and they are so patient with making the right calls. Patience is the difference between finishing first and finishing in the garage.
Absolutely. The 29 car making its way up there, that was made. That was that third car that I saw a while ago. And like you said, Ben Kuhn jumped up there. And now that has pushed Fago to where he's got a nose out in front and is pushing him into first place.
Pushed him into first place. They say you're only as strong as the truck's pushing you, and he had pushed him up into first place. They have a lot of momentum, and we are looking at a huge rivalry happening here. They are fighting for that first position spot. I mean, depending on the turn that we're entering in lap 50 almost, they are seesawing between first and second place. And we are watching both lanes now building up a lot of excitement. I mean, these trucks are trying their best. It is now a race. It's a drag race nearly as they push through into lap 50 here at Daytona.
Yeah, absolutely. We see Dylan Grutzmacher now making his way in front of John Fago. Hunter Davis has jumped up to the top line to help TRN teammate Ben Kuhn. They're going to try to make a push on this high line. And then you got the number 29 back there as well that's pushing in that lane. And then Jonathan Geist jumping up there to try to push that top pack with teammates Hunter Davis and Ben Kuhn.
Field remaining tightly packed together. Nobody able to break away from the draft yet. It's just moving like a freight train down the straightaway. We're seeing that outside lane losing a little bit of its momentum. Inside lane seems to be what's hot right now. drivers communicating with each other, as you can hear. What is it like having the ability to kind of communicate with all drivers? You know, what are the things that these drivers generally want to say to each other on the track? You know, is it beneficial for them to all work together, or you know, do we often hear some rivalry happening on the driver microphones?
Yes, and I'm just going to chime in because I'm listening to the track mic loudly as ever. Judson Curtis, the 35 car, has been informing these guys, hey, I got a little bit of damage here. Just letting you guys know I may not be able to push, or maybe my rear end's damaged. Don't push too hard. So they will communicate, but for the most part, the really juicy stuff is happening on Discord with teams.
That's exactly what I was going to allude to. You know, I know with the TRN guys, they're all in the TRN channel. They're talking about pit strategies, fuel strategies, tire strategies. How are we going to get the remainder of our damage repaired? When should I pit? What lap do we want to pit on? Those are the kinds of things that are being discussed in Discord or in the team channels within the iRacing setup. So you know, there's a lot of things that are being communicated back and forth between teammates, but then when you hear the track mic like that, like with Judson Curtis stating about the damage that he's got, or you know, if somebody sees something, you know, they might say, hey, you know, let's be careful of this, or you know, be mindful of that.
It seems like everybody is just trying to keep their trucks clean. You know, patience is key here, as we've got 27 laps to go. We're entering into the 53rd lap out of 80. And a lot of patience being shown here. And, you know, we still have some race left in us. And this really right here, what we're seeing is the calm before the storm. Everybody's just trying to keep their truck clean. And they're just riding right now, trying to save their equipment for those final few laps.
Yeah, and I'm going to jump in with a little report from pit. We're going to talk about fuel strategy here. These guys cannot make this last run on their own. So basically, you know, stage ended 35 plus 2 laps. So these guys are going to make it to like, say 60 is when we'll probably have some guys pitting. But, you know, 62, 65 is probably the maximum anybody's going to make it. So they will need one more stop. We currently have 18 cars in a race, 16 cars on a lead lap. There's a whole pack in the back that have damage that are hanging back there. You know, they're hoping for a caution, but everyone's going to need to pit again here probably in under 10 laps.
Yeah, that is absolutely 100% correct. And, you know, most of them are going to come in, get fuel. I'm not sure about tires because, you
will not take them if it's green. Correct.
Right, exactly. I mean, if it's a green lap, if it's a green flag pit stop, they're going to just take fuel. They're not going to worry about tires. You know, it's not like if you were racing a track like Phoenix that we got next week, where you would take tires during a green flag run because tires make a difference there. I mean, on the super speedway, you know, the fall off happens and then you're just kind of there.
You can feel the tension building. I mean, you know, they're getting ready for this pit, and you know, this is where Daytona gets interesting. Anything can happen in this pack or after pit. And one mistake here could change everything. This is super speedway racing at its finest.
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm going to say this as far as pit strategy. You know, if Ben and Hunter and Jonathan Geist, TRN, were to decide to come in pit before anybody else, then that's going to put them in position to take down a 1-2-3 finish for Team TRN. Because when people start to pit after that, they're going to be already, they're already going to have business taken care of, and it's going to push them back to the front of the pack. So, you know, with Ben and Hunter being up there in 1-2, they have to control the tempo of pit lane to hold first and second place. They don't want to let anybody undercut them going into pits, trying to make it last as long as they can. Jeff, what's your take on that?
I'm going to jump in here. One driver that I see that I've been keeping my eye on is Ritzmacher. Ritzmacher's done a wonderful job maintaining his position. He has not dropped back, and he has not been too aggressive to start. I think that he is really waiting for the perfect moment to jump out and try and snatch a position, if not snatch the win.
Yeah, I apologize, Jonathan. Yeah, I'm having all kinds of mic issues tonight. They're getting stuck on. It's not coming on, so I apologize. But yeah, no, this is about to get real exciting. I was trying to say this earlier, but yeah, Ben Kuhn, Hunter Davis, Grootsbacher would probably come in there with him, but I would expect these guys to start pitting any moment now. They're biding their time single file.
Yeah, absolutely. And to what you said, Brandon, about Dylan Grootsbacher, Jeff had alluded to this earlier. Last season, he dominated and potentially could have won the championship had it not been for some computer issues. But he is a very accomplished driver. He's won several races here in DES Premier Series trucks, and he is no stranger to these machines, and he knows how to get things done.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that every driver in this field knows how quickly things can change at Daytona, and track position matters, but timing the run matters even more, and that's what I've been seeing from Grootsbacher this race as we're entering into 58 of 80 here at Daytona.
Yeah, and here's a little more inside information. We talked about Ben Kuhn, Hunter Davis, I believe Jonathan Green. They're all TRN. Grootsbacher and Phillips are currently in a channel together. They have one more racer with them who's not up there, but those two are communicating. Just heard somebody come over with track mic say, I got 6 left, 4.5 left. These guys are calling in how much fuel they have left. They're communicating across track mic.
One thing I want to allude to here as well is iRacing introduced, just like NASCAR did, a new truck for this season in the Ram truck. So now we've got the Chevrolet, we've got the Ford, we've got the Toyota, and we've got the Ram. And some of these guys are running the Ram trucks tonight. I know in the Contender Series, I tried to run it. It's a great truck. I don't know that it's a good draft truck. I mean, Ben Kuhn's doing a great job running it right now, but I'm not sure it's the greatest draft truck. I feel like the Chevy Silverado is more suitable for that. But on short tracks, I think the Ram truck is going to be one to watch out for.
Lower lane now is what's building most of the momentum. We're seeing these guys go too wide. They're trying different lanes again. And it looks like, so Phillips and Grootsbacher are team driving tonight. It looks like they've got Green in between them. I'm sure Phillips is trying to catch up so he can get back to his teammate, maybe give him a push, because his teammate's in pole position right now in third place. And we are now entering into lap 60 here at Daytona. And we've got Kuhn still leading the front. He's done a great job maintaining his speed, maintaining his momentum. Not much contact has been needed from Davis to stay in front of the pack. We're seeing that Green's car back there is starting to fall. Excuse me, that's Grootsbacher. Grootsbacher's starting to fall out of that draft pocket now. He's going to try and fight his way back up. Let's see if Green, despite not necessarily being on his team, is going to give him a little bit of a push, try and get him back into that draft pocket so he can be more of a contender there.
Yeah, you talked about the fact that Ben doesn't need much of a bump shove from Hunter. I have to say that knowing Hunter as well as I do, and here they come down pit lane.
Oh, we got one spinning. One spinning. Couple more spinning. Oh my goodness, we got mayhem.
A little bit of contact into pit.
Wow.
What a time for an incident. Right into pit lane. Drivers now finding their teams on pit road. Yeah, let's take a look at that and see what happened. Lower lane's coming in. These drivers know the pit's coming up. They make their quick entry. Ooh, number 56 and number 5 clip each other just on the end there. And then 7 starts to spin out as he's entering into the apron. Let's look at that again. Little bit of contact there. And he goes out. Then you see the 7 also start to spin.
This is going to be a major shakeup for the finish of the race. And I've got to point something out. I have my track mic maximum volume. I didn't hear a whole lot of people calling out. I'm not sure if the 5 car didn't know, some of these guys were pitting. Obviously, he came into pit when the mayhem happened, but we got guys going backwards down pit lane. This is just absolute mayhem.
Absolutely. Dylan Grutzmacher having to do a tailspin there to get his truck straightened out in pit lane because he went backwards.
And that's the thing, right? When these trucks go backwards, there is really no telling which direction they're going to go. They don't have the aerodynamics going in reverse like you would see in normal super speedway racing. That's what makes these trucks so interesting. They create a lot of draft, a lot of pocket, but when they get backwards, they do not correlate with the air and the atmosphere as you would expect.
And Bison and Dinda both avoided that. They have a 1 second lead or so on the rest of the field. They probably can't maintain it, but now they got guys in front of them who are actually going to fall a lap down, and they're actually could probably potentially help them stay out in the lead.
Yeah, because, you know, you got Jonathan Green coming up now with Brandon Hinton and Hunter Davis behind that. They're having to try to track to the high side to get around the now lapsed traffic and try to work together to catch up with Bies and Dinda. You know, but it's, I have to say that Hunter Davis and Ben Kuhn went in 1-2. Ben Kuhn is now in 11th, and Hunter Davis is all the way down in 5th.
Absolutely, and I mean, look at it. You have Bies and no man left behind Dinda coming up here at taking the lead of the race. Their strategy, he was not concerned at all earlier in this race when he dropped back to help his teammate out, and now they're out in front due to the major incident that just happened. This is amazing to see. You know, this is absolutely good racing here.
It is, and I would, if we can, Damon, let's get a look inside of Max Dinda's truck so we can show how close these guys get when they're doing that draft.
Wow, that second pack has definitely caught up to that front pack. You got a little block in there by the 48. They just blew by Jamie Howell. He's going to go a lap down. Nothing he could do about it. They're in a pack, and he wasn't.
But Brandon Hinton and Jonathan Fago getting some working on that bottom line as they slip back down. And now Max and Bai is going to come down and give a block off.
Oh, that was almost a disaster with that block.
Yes, it was.
A little bit of contact, and I mean, you know, this is really getting interesting. We're seeing a lot more aggression from these drivers as we're getting closer and closer to the end of this race, and a little bit of contact. I mean, the pack is pretty well broken up. A lot of drivers got taken out in that last thing, and it's really opened up the track for a lot of new contenders. We're seeing a lot of the normal names here. Bias Dinda taking the lead here, Hinton and Green right behind him, and with Davis in the 5th position, you know, we got quite the pack here forming. And,
catching Kuhn. Yep, go ahead. Sorry, I just said they were catching Ben Kuhn. They're going to lap him.
Oh yeah, catching Ben Kuhn. Yes, Ben Kuhn definitely lapped. And I tell you, you know, that pit strategy is already a difficult thing to maneuver when it comes to timing it perfectly, getting everything ready. But when there's a major incident like that entering into pit, it just muddies the waters completely, and it makes it difficult to come back from.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about, we had some mayhem early in the race, right? Those guys were fighting for stage points. There's 10 through 1, 1st through 10th. So those points add up, right? First place is going to be 40 points in the race. Second place is 35. So stage points, you can get 20 points if you finish. So they were fighting early. We had mayhem earlier. Now it's go time. We're going to probably see some more mayhem here in the last 12 or 13 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to say this, you know, Fago's in a good position right now, having Hunter Davis behind him. If I was going to have anybody behind me, and I was going to say this when the incidents happened at pit row, if I was going to have anything or anybody behind me, it would be Hunter Davis is who I want pushing me, because he knows he has great track awareness, and he knows exactly where he needs to be to give you the best push, whether it be bump drafting or just pushing you in the draft period. That's the guy I want behind me.
Man, and I tell you what, Jonathan Green is showing his chops. I'm not even sure what the heck his card number is supposed to be, but he just made a move in front of Max and Jackson, and boy, is he is plowed to the front.
Yeah, absolutely. And go ahead.
No, just saying, threading the needle right there, and you know, we do see some aggressive moves, but the field for the most part is staying pretty disciplined.
So Jonathan Green's number is actually at 92, but we see him sporting the 517 that he is accustomed to running on the Fago machine.
A little bit of push there from Bice onto green. They're trying to gain some momentum on that lower lane. Here the drivers there communicating, trying to get 3 wide there. And Peter watches good racing. Look as they're catching.
Might be bad timing.
Went low. Looks like 3 wide. 3 wide here at Daytona. He's dropping back in the pack. We have 2 lanes forming now.
So I'm gonna point something out while I listen to these guys talking. So Ben Kuhn went a lap down. He got caught up in the draft. He's currently kind of in that 3rd or 4th, 5th spot. He's gonna have to fight to get his lap back. So I would not take the camera off that front pack because this is gonna get pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's going to fight for that lap back, but he's also pushing teammate Hunter Davis, trying to help him get up there and possibly get a win. And I think Hunter Davis is in a good spot right here. I'm sorry, Brandon. I just want to say,
they're wrecking. They're wrecking.
Get into Hunter Davis, and that is a massive wreck right there.
Major incident, multiple flips. The 88 car trying to come to a stop. Wow, what a big incident here at Daytona. Oh, he tried to come in low, hit the wall, started flipping. He also took out another car involved in this accident here. Comes in, just hits him on that lower fender, starts flipping. Wow. Into the wall, multiple flips. What a
That's
major
unfortunate.
incident.
That is unfortunate for Hunter Davis. I think I heard him call out that may have ended his race.
Very unfortunate end for Hunter Davis. We'll wait for the official call on that. I am sure he is disappointed. I mean, you get this far into the race, lap 70, and you get involved in a major incident like that. What kind of disappointment do you feel as the driver, especially when it's not your fault? Is this a pretty soul-crushing moment for him?
Absolutely heartbreaking moment. Because not only did that take out Hunter Davis, but it also that affected Ben Kuhn as well, the 40 car.
Wow.
Should we take a quick break and come back in a minute?
Yes, I think we should.
Absolutely.
Well, that was a very unfortunate event right there for Hunter Davis. Um, but in other news, TRN teammate Jonathan Geist is currently sitting in third. I'm sorry, fourth.
Pace car's off now. During a lap 72, we only have a few more laps left in this race. You know, we are off now. Okay, we got 2 lanes forming. Very unfortunate to see such a major incident happen that late into the race. I know he is heartbroken, and that just goes to show anything can happen here at Daytona, and this is where it gets exciting. These drivers are going to start getting more aggressive, trying to secure their pole position. And as we said earlier in the race, you know, it doesn't matter where you start the pack, because we have seen this pack change multiple times throughout this race. We have Green, Phillips, and Hinton leading the poles right now as they're pushing in that lower lane. It's getting exciting, you know. Still a lot of racing left tonight. This race is far from settled, and the field is very much still in contention.
Indeed it is, and I would keep an eye on the number 8 car. That is the 88 of Hunter Davis, so his race is not over. He is still in it, and he is kind of back there trying to catch up to the draft pack. But also, like I say, TRN teammate Jonathan Geist is leading the pack on that upper line that is trying to come around to catch up with the number 8 and number 92 and number 5.
Yeah, absolutely. 6 laps to go. Drivers beginning to think about the finish. Track position becoming more and more important with every lap. The battle for the lead is heating up here at Daytona.
Absolutely, and Dylan Grutzmacher is going to abandon that upper lane and leave Jonathan Geist up there by himself. Geist is going to have to slot in behind Grutzmacher now. But the big thing is, you've got Fago with Jason Phillips tucked up underneath him, and then Brandon Hinton tucked up underneath Jason Phillips. When is going to be the right moment for anybody that is behind Fago to make the move to try to take down the P1 spot?
Absolutely, and we're seeing you know, a lot more aggressive driving here. These drivers going 3 wide more often on these turns, really trying to shuffle that pack, get in a good position, try and get a good draft on the driver in front of them, and pull up at the last moment. You know, we'll see those aggressive moves here on these final 5 laps at Daytona, and it's just absolutely thrilling to watch. Green and Phillips really just trying to work together. You know, Phillips is trying to keep that lead as long as he can, you know, to the finish. However, as we enter into lap 75, you know, that can change in a moment. We have 5 laps to go under the lights here at Daytona. We're in the final.
Caution.
And the caution
we've
is
got
out.
a caution out. With 5 laps to go, we're going to take a quick break.
48.
And we're going to figure out where that caution is, and we'll come back and let you know what happened.
Pace
And we
car
are
out now. I'm sorry.
And we
go
are
ahead, Jonathan.
going. No, that's fine. You're good. We are back green. Fago is going to have a decent start, but so does Jason Phillips. We are 2 laps to go. This is the green flag lap of a green-white checker. Meaning this time around, if there's a caution, we'll have a caution. But if it goes white, whoever is in first place when they cross the finish line around that time will win the race. Currently, Jonathan Green in the Fago machine was in first, but now that top line getting a good push. And we've got Jason Phillips with Christian Clark and Jonathan Geist in 1, 2, 3. We are 3 wide coming through turn 3 and 4. And it's getting a bit dicey and
we got to spin. We got to spin. We got an incident. We got a wreck.
Big incident, middle of the pack.
So it looks like the white flag was out before the wreck happened. So we will stay green on this white flag lap. We've got Jason Phillips in first, Christian Clark in second, and Jonathan Geist in third. Jonathan Geist moving down the... Oh, man, what a shakeup now.
Bice pushing him into the front. Clark now front of the pack from that push from Bice. The positioning is everything here. Bice now coming close to the outside. It's almost a drag race. Ooh, another incident pushed him into the apron. We have Bice in first place coming up on the finishing lap.
Jackson Bice, your winner.
Jackson Bice takes the win after all of the teamwork and camaraderie. It paid off in the end. He takes the finish here at first place at Daytona.
With Max Dinda in second place and Brandon Hinton in third place. Jason Phillips taking down fourth, Christian Clark in fifth to round out the top 5.
You know, we have seen... Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead, sir.
They can't hear him. Lonely Weekend, Brandon, just letting you know. Brandon's our brand new announcer. His voice is amazing. We had so many people commenting about it. We're going to bring in some race winners. We're going to probably start with the third place, Brandon Hinton, second place, Max Dinda, first place, Jackson Bice. We're going to bring them in one by one. Let's go.
And we've got in here with us Brandon Hinton, who came in third place in the podium finishes tonight. Brandon, congratulations on the P3 finish there tonight. Take us through that last lap and what was going through your mind. That was a sketchy lap there.
Yeah, a little bit. Just dodging everybody that was wrecking right there, and got to the back, but I had a major run and tried to get all the way back up there, but was able to get P3, which was, we'll take that.
Absolutely, all day, every day. Another podium finish for Hinton Motorsports. I mean, last season you guys were so dominant in the truck series, both the Contender Series and the Premier Series. Keeping it going for the start of this season tonight. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. And thanks for what you guys do for the broadcast. Appreciate it.
All right, that was Brandon Hinton in P3. Next, we're going to get Max Dinda in P2 in here and get a little interview with him. Max Dinda, congratulations on P2. How you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
So take us through the strategy that you and Jackson Bice were running all night, staying together and trying to run your own draft pocket.
Yeah, I mean, we run Super Speedways in another league. So, I mean, Jackson knows what he's doing. He coaches me here. So, I'm really proud of what I think he swept the night. Really proud of that effort from him. He's newer, and he's new to my team. So, we've been friends for a while. Finally got him to DS. Really proud of his effort and what we did tonight. Last to first multiple times. So, it was a lot of fun working with him. I think he won all the stages in the race, and I finished second in all the stages and finished second in the race. So that was pretty cool to do.
You know, Max,
Absolutely.
watching you guys work out there tonight has just been such a spectacle here at Daytona. You know, you guys working together and actually finishing here at P2, you know, does this give you a lot of confidence heading into next week's race?
If I race next week, no. Well, I mean, I was getting mad at Tanner. He was laps down, Salge after me, so I doored him. So there's probably going to be a EOL penalty there. I'm expecting it. So hopefully I can race next week. Other than that, I think that was the only incident I was really at fault at. The whole, I mean, I was around every wreck. At one point my screen I lagged out, and I mean, I don't know if I disappeared for you guys on the broadcast, but I was gone for like 5 seconds straight. So I thought I was gonna lag out because of internet, and my race was over then. But thankfully it came back on, and I was able to regroup with Jackson. So after stage 2 there, we were leading. We were 1 and 2, or somewhere around there, and we decided to drop to the back and save fuel. And when you look at the green flag pit stop, we really, that fuel saving gained us a lot of time. We were like 2 seconds ahead of the field leaving pit road. So really proud of Jackson and his effort tonight. Thankful to be here. Thank you, Damon, for putting it on tonight.
Thank you, Max. And again, congratulations on the P2 finish. And now we're going to get Jackson Buys in here. Jackson, the man of the hour, P1 finish, come in on a golden ticket and then won the premier race, man. Congratulations on that. I have one question that's just, I have to know. There was one spot you were in P2. You cycled down below the apron and fell back to get back with Max. Was that a planned strategy?
I wish I could say it was, but no, that was... Oh, wait. Are you talking about, like, with 10 to go under caution or under green whenever I went below the apron on the backstretch?
Under green when you hit the apron on the backstretch.
Well, that plan there was, I was looking at the fuel. I'd seen that, hey, you know, the way the 1 can and 2 cans, everything works. We're on the verge of taking 1 can or 2 cans at the stop. I'm gonna drop back. We're gonna save the whole run, and luckily we ran green to a pit stop, and that's exactly what we did. At the pit stop, we were able to take 1 can, and the rest of the field had to take 2 cans, or majority of the field had to. That's why we came out so far ahead. That gave us that 1.5 second gap. We were picking up lap cars. None of them were really able to stay with us. So if we were able to pick them up, I think it would have been a 2-horse race between me and Max for the win. But I mean, at the end of it, it was still us 2. Once the field caught up, everything kind of went bad, you could say. I was telling Max to take Hunter's right rear, and I mean, he got there, and I was shading up the track, and Hunter just kind of followed me up. He got a little bit tunnel vision and came up across Max's nose, sent him for a bad crash. And then under caution, that same caution, I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to watch the replay, and I clipped pit road, and that sent me to the back. But luckily, me and Max were able to link up, get together, and just kind of drive by everyone there at the end.
Who were some of the other drivers, Jackson, that you worked with in the draft tonight? We got the pleasure of watching you and Max Denda really team drive together. Who were some of the other drivers you worked with in the draft tonight?
Really, it was just kind of me and Max. I mean, we were basically fully committed to everyone. I mean, there may have been one car that stood out more than the others behind us, but I mean, there wasn't anyone that we had like designated like, hey, this person's working with us. We typically work with TRN, but at one point during the race, just everything kind of went bad between us, and they didn't necessarily want to work with us. They didn't plan with working with us anyways, but at the halfway point, they had basically established that they didn't like us at all. So.
Did the stage breaks tonight, you know, change your approach or your strategy at all? Was there anything you're like, hey, you know what, take this opportunity to readjust and re-engage on this next open?
Well, I typically come from money racing, and it's not a league. There really isn't any leagues there, so we don't have stages. So, you know, in races where we have to pit, it's pretty straightforward. You top off every single caution until you're good to go. So, you know, in the cup race, Friday night, last night, that's what got me behind, because Max had told me that there was no caution, no stages. And so whenever I came down, and I came down by myself, I was put basically behind the 8 ball, and I never really saw the front again after that. I kept getting caught up in wrecks every time I basically got to the front. So yeah, coming into it with stages, for stage 1, we had like a caution at like the halfway point that we stayed out for. And we stayed out front. We went 1-2 in that stage. And then in 35, since it's a little bit longer, we had another about halfway caution or a caution a few laps into it. So we pit there. We had plenty of time to get back to the front, and we went 1-2 again. And same thing here is just, it's all about fuel strategy whenever you have to pit.
Well, your strategies definitely paid off tonight for you and Max. Jackson, congratulations. Not only on getting the win here in Premier, but doing it as a contender series driver. Of course, like you say, you come from, racing many leagues, and you and Max race in other leagues on super speedways as well. So, I mean, you're no stranger to it. We all know that you're a respected driver in those leagues. And, you showed tonight that we're probably going to see you more throughout the season up here in Premier on Golden Tickets.
Yeah, I plan to try and be here as much as possible. I wish there was a way for me to score points, but I mean, obviously there isn't. So, I mean, I'm just here. I mean, Max showed a great amount of commitment tonight to me to give me this win. But I think if it comes down to it later on into the season, you'll probably see the roles reversed and me being a little bit more dedicated to Max.
Well, congratulations.
Would like to. Oh, I'm
no,
so sorry.
let's do it. Congratulations to Jackson Bice for first place, Max Stinna for second place, Brandon Hinton for third place. Jackson, we're going to have another interview with you in a week or two. I know it, whether it's the Contender Series or this series. So congratulations, everybody. Let's close it out with Jonathan and Brandon.
Yeah, Jackson, I just wanted to ask, is there anybody that you'd like to thank or shout out after tonight's race?
I mean, shout out to the broadcast. Shout out to my grandmother. She loves watching me race. I think my dad was watching me race tonight. So shout out for their support. Thank my parents for getting me this set up, putting me on the sim. Thank y'all for the broadcast if I didn't already say that. Thank Damien for the league, and thank God.
All right. Well, we thank you, Jackson. Again, congratulations. That'll do it for tonight here at DES Racing in Daytona. Tomorrow night, we'll have the O'Reilly Series cars here at Daytona, and that'll be the conclusion of our Daytona week for week 1 of the season around the books. But for tonight, for myself, Brandon Moran, and Jeff Dinda, and Damon, our producer, have a great night.